Good afternoon, Floss Tube friends. This is Lisa, Lady Huzzah Presents on Floss Tube, Lady Huzzah on Instagram. Welcome back to my channel. All of you returning viewers may notice that I'm in a different location today. Well, I am. If you are a new viewer, please enjoy, sit back, enjoy. And if you like what you see here today, please hit like and subscribe to my channel. So, life update here. I am in a different location because I am in Germany for 3.5 weeks with my daughter, Erin, who, as those of you who have been following me are aware that she has been going through cancer treatment for breast cancer. She's actually doing quite well and has been progressing through her treatment better than expected. She's been through her chemo, she's been through her surgery, and will now be starting her radiation soon. My husband was here at the end of February through March to spend some time with her and support her in her treatment. And now I have the opportunity to be here with her now as she starts the next phase. And honestly, just she's feeling a lot better and do some fun mom and daughter things together. So it's really been great being here, and all of you probably know how much it totally fills a mama's heart to be with her daughter, especially when she's going through a tough time, but it's always great to be with my daughter no matter what time it is. So anyway, I will introduce Erin here in a little bit. I have a little bit of life update to do first. Been a very busy time. I was recently at my friend Miriam's lake house in Indiana the week before StitchCon. I was there with Miriam and Sylvia, and we had a great week of what we call gallivanting. We were shopping, eating, crafting, stitching. We did peyote beading. We did painting little boxes that were from old colonial designs. We stitched the top and then we painted the little box and mounted them on top. We also made woolly trees. You've seen me show my woolly trees before on Floss Tube, and Sylvia and Miriam had one that they were looking to make and assemble themselves, so I helped them with that. So I did that the week before StitchCon A, and then the Wednesday before StitchCon started, I traveled to Batavia, Ohio, to Shelly, who's Antique Needleworkers. I went to her mill house and spent time with her, and Carrie Chamberlain, who's Tiger Lily Designs. We had a wonderful time. Shelly graciously invited me to stay at her home for StitchCon along with Carrie. So the day before StitchCon started, Shelly had another little pre-game fun day. We gathered with other stitchers and had a stitch day there. It was Shelly, myself, Carrie, Jen Nasca, and Holly of Hobbies with Holly on Floss Tube, and we had a lovely brunch and stitch day all together. So it was a really nice pre-game for StitchCon. So that was great. Unfortunately, I cannot really go over all of my StitchCon. People are so generous. All of the gifts I received at StitchCon and a whole StitchCon recap, because all of those things from StitchCon are at home. But I'm sure you've seen a lot of StitchCon recaps, and we'll just have to go with that this year, because by the time I get home from Germany, that will kind of be old news, although who knows, I may show some things here and there. So anyway, StitchCon, our table was great. We had a lot of fun women at our table. We had Jen Nasca, we had Sally Yoon, and she is Sally Stitches, and we had Crystal. Crystal was a newcomer to our table, and she is the PNW, the Pacific Northwest Stitcher, and myself. So there's 6 of us. And yeah, so it was Jen, Sally, me, Carrie, and Crystal. And I think that's it. Am I counting 5 or 6? Anyway, there were 6 of us. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. Did I count to 6? Okay. And Shelly. So it was Shelly, Carrie, me, Jen, Sally, and Crystal. So there you go, that's 6. Okay, so anyway, at this time, I would love to introduce my beautiful daughter, Erin, who I told her that at StitchCon, when I would meet people, the first thing out of their mouth was, how's your daughter? Second thing out of their mouth is, we've been praying for her. So Erin and I wanted to do a floss tube together so you could meet her. Come on, Erin. You are a celebrity here today.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, everyone. This is my beautiful daughter, Erin. Oh, I just put a lipstick kiss on your face, but that's okay. You're used to those.
Welcome to my home.
So this is my daughter, Erin's home. She lives in Hamburg, Germany. And so there you go, Erin. I'm so happy you can meet my floss tube friends, and so they can meet you, because you have been totally in their prayers for the last several months as you've gone through this cancer process.
Yeah, Mom told me that people were asking after me, so yeah, really thank you. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so it's good to be here on your floss tube on my couch.
So anyway, Erin, tell us about where you are with things with your whole cancer process.
Yeah, I think you pretty much covered it. Yeah, so I started chemo in January and I finished at the end of April. Yeah, I had surgery in May and now I'm about 6 weeks out from that. Everything's healed really well. The doctor told me I had the best possible outcome I could have, which is great. No more cancer, no more active cancer cells, which is awesome. And then I start radiation on July 7th, so that's next month. Well, when we're filming, next Monday. Yeah, and then there's 3 weeks of that, and then I'm done with active treatment. So I'm very excited to be done and get back to my regular life.
Your regularly scheduled life.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I can say is that you know, there is a lot to be said for medicine and surgical procedures. I mean, heck, I know that. I'm an OR nurse. But Erin's doctors were pretty amazed that her tumor went away during chemo. So she was looking at a double mastectomy, but that...
No, I wasn't.
Oh,
I
thought you were supposed to have a double mastectomy.
No, it was always just going to be a lumpectomy. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Sorry, we thought that she had to
so
have
it's better.
a mastectomy.
It's better.
But she did, her tumor went away during her chemo process. So she ended up with a lumpectomy and then nodes removed. So I know there was talk about mastectomy.
That was me asking.
Okay. Okay. I know there had been some. You know, it's very difficult being away, being so far away when your kid or anybody close to your heart is going through something like this. So anyway, it's through the medical community, the surgical community, and all of you with all of your great thoughts and prayers that really helped get everyone through this. So truly appreciated. So anyway, other than your cancer journey here, so tell everybody what brought you to Germany, because people often ask me, are you military? And I'm like, no, not at all.
No, I'm not military. Much to a military recruiter's chagrin when I was a teenager. He tried really hard to recruit me. Yeah, it didn't work. Yeah, so I studied German at university. I have a double major from William & Mary in English and German studies. The German major was an accident, so I had enough credits. I was going for a minor and had enough credits for a major, so yeah, signed up for that. So I have an accidental German major. And when I finished university, I got a job as an au pair in Stuttgart, which is in the south of Germany, for a family there. So I was working with 3 kids, and I originally came over for a year, and it's now 11 years later, and I'm still here. Yeah, so I lived in Stuttgart for a little while as an au pair, and then I moved to Berlin. So I was working as an editor at a yoga website, so I'm also a registered yoga teacher,
which is awesome.
Yeah. And yeah, I was in Berlin for 2 years, and then I moved to Hamburg to be with my now ex-boyfriend. But I really fell in love with Hamburg. It's really beautiful. It's very chill. There's a lot of water. There's a lot of green space. I've found a great, kind of chosen family community here. So I've been here for 7 or 8 years now. So and now I'm working at a statistics company, which no one ever expected. So
because Erin was not really the math and science kind of girl.
She was not an office job person.
She was
but now I am.
She was more of an English and history kind of girl. So we were kind of surprised when she obtained a job at Statista. But it's been great for you. You've got, you've really progressed in the company, and you've,
my Excel skills are now adequate. So that worked out.
Well, also tell us about the GAA.
Oh, the GAA, yeah. So I play a lot of sports now. And the one that I really started with when I moved to Hamburg was the Gaelic Athletic Association. So I play a sport called camogie. It's one of Ireland's national sports. So their national sports are Gaelic football, which is kind of like, I don't know if you know any sports, but it's like Aussie rules. But also sort of not. It doesn't really look like normal soccer at all. You can touch the ball, all this stuff. I started playing camogie. So there's Gaelic football, hurling, and camogie. Hurling and camogie are very similar. Camogie is the ladies' version of hurling, to kind of put it, short and sweet. So our club is great. It's huge. There's a lot of people from all over the world. There's a lot of Irish people, people of Irish descent, like me. I think now I might be the only American on the team.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Germans, Irish. We had a guy from Ethiopia once. We had, people really from all over. So it's been a really good way to meet people. I've been introducing Mom to my friends while we're here, and I was like, oh, I know this person from the GA and this person from the GAA. So really kind of now all of my friends are GA people. But it's great. I really loved it.
And you competed in the World Games?
Yeah, so in 2023 we had our version of the Olympics. I made the German national team, which, like a true German, I'm very excited to put that on my CV. And we went to Derry and played for a week against teams from all over. So I got to play teams from the US, which I never would have gotten to do. We played the European team, so it was really cool to be able to play on the national team and then see people from all over, play against people I will never get the chance to play against again or regularly. And then we also have international tournaments every year. So we have 5 tournaments across Europe. So it's a lot of traveling in the summer, a lot of weekends taken up with hurling and camogie, but it's really good. So a lot of time with friends and playing a good sport.
And the World Games are coming around again.
Yeah, next year. So next year I hope to be on the team again, but we'll see.
So Erin is very motivated to return to her sports. There's a whole mental component of cancer recovery also, and that's the mental portion. And I have to say that she has been so positive throughout this whole process and really has said she's not going to let this define her, and she's anxious to get back to her sports and the camogie team, and she also loves to do triathlon. Triathlon, events,
races.
And so she's very eager to get back to those things that bring her a lot of happiness, joy, and fitness. So that's where she is with that. So anyway, what we have been doing, we planned to do some crafting together. During my time here with Erin. She has been working. She still worked full-time throughout her treatments, and so she has still been working during the day, but we're lucky that in Germany in the summertime it stays late till 10:30 at night. So we've had kind of like, she's had her work day, but then we've had fun times after that. We've been doing a lot of things. Creative-wise, our family everyone is very creative in different ways. My parents were very creative. My mom used to do knitting and crewel work, and she always had little craft days for our friends in the neighborhood that we'd, get things together, and our friends would come over and do paper mache and clay and painting Christmas ornaments and there was these little sort of film kind of flowers we would do years ago back in the 70s. You would bend wire and dip them in this sort of fun film thing and make flowers. So crafts and making were always a big part of my life, and crafts and making have always been a big part of my children's lives too. So when I came over here, we had decided things that we would do together. So Erin is a wonderful knitter. She is also turning into a wonderful potter. She's been taking pottery lessons for a year now.
About a year. Yeah, about a year.
And, so that's been great. And she also cross stitches some, so you will see some different things from us here today, because we've been combining our love of just being makers during my time here. So my first week here, we went to a pottery class, and it was a pottery sip and pot. We had wine and we had charcuterie, and then we had time on the potter's wheel. And so my pieces are now being fired. I did create 3 pieces that night. You did.
I did 2.
Yeah. But Erin is here to show you some of the pottery that she has done in the last year. I think one time I know I put it on Instagram, I showed a knitting ball that Erin had created for me. I showed it.
Nice.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So I think it was on my floss tube. I'll show it again when I get home, because you'll be able to appreciate it more and whom it came from. But I did post pictures on my Instagram with this knitting bowl, yarn bowl that Erin made for me for Christmas. But go ahead and tell us about your pottery.
Okay. What should I start with? Which piece? I don't know. Or the background, or what?
Well, just start with anything.
Okay.
I'm going to go and sort of adjust this light a little bit, but just keep going.
All right. Yeah. So, hello. So I started with pottery about a year ago. I always thought throwing on the wheel was really cool, and so I was really excited to finally give it a try. I finally had the opportunity. So some of the things that I have made, I'm really, this isn't like super professional, but I really enjoy it. So one of the things I made is this bowl. I've been working on getting bigger and bigger forms. So you start small and then you get bigger. I think this was about a kilogram of clay that I used.
So people can see it.
Yeah. And at the studio that I go to an open studio, which means I have 3 hours on the wheel. I can make whatever I want. I can just practice. And so I decided to make this bowl and use this glaze, which is the same color glaze as the bowls that I bought for my house from IKEA. So when Mom was picking it up, she didn't even realize that I had made it because it's the same color.
It's beautiful.
So this is one of the larger forms that I've thrown. So it's not perfect yet, but I'm getting there. And every time I'm getting a little bit better on the wheel. So yeah, pretty excited about that one. Another form, here I can try, that I'm trying to perfect without tools, which I've learned from watching The Great Pottery Throwdown, which we've been watching a lot of, is a moon jar, which is a very round shape. I'm trying to get that roundness without using the help of 3D printed tools or anything like that. So I made this little vase. Part of it is very round, part of it a little, maybe not so round. But I made this for a friend of mine in Berlin. She has 2 small kids, and they're at that stage where they're picking all these little flowers or dandelions at the park and giving them to their mom. So I thought this would be a nice vase for her to use for those little tiny flowers that just have to come home from the playground.
And the colors of the flowers will really pop against this black background. So that's really cool. Erin mentioned something about the Great Pottery Throwdown. We have been watching, since we did our pottery night last week, we have been addicted to this show. I don't know if any of you have watched it. It's out of England.
Yeah, if anyone watches the Great British Bake Off, Pottery Throwdown is exactly like
Amazing.
Bake Off, but with pottery. It's really cozy reality TV, so everyone is really supportive and they're helping each other, and there's no like, backstabbing or like mean words.
This
Everyone
really,
is so...
this piece really stinks. They always find something so positive to say, like, I could tell what the intent was, that it was so beautiful, but then you had a little,
little hiccup here, or this didn't quite go to plan.
You've really done a great job.
And one of the judges, Keith, is amazing. I love him. He gets very moved by people's work, and their goal now that it's been on for a couple of seasons, they always want to make Keith cry, because Keith cries when people do really well.
He feels so connected to their work, and he gets so emotional.
Yeah.
And so each week they pick a potter of the week, and then someone's eliminated, reality show kind of style. And they don't win money or a big prize. They
do it for the love of the game.
They win a very cool trophy made of pottery, and they can take all the pieces that they made home. And it's just a really wonderful show that Erin and I have really been binge watching the seasons. And in fact, we decided to have another pottery day on Sunday. So we're all looking to make these fabulous creations. So check out, definitely search for the Great Pottery Throwdown, and you'll get addicted too. Yeah. It's really a fun show, very upbeat, very positive. So anyway, Erin has a little bit more pottery that she would love to show you.
So I have a couple of cups that I made, but it was with a different technique. So I'll show this one first. I went to a workshop. It was a hand building workshop, so it wasn't throwing at all. The cups were pre-prepared, but it was a workshop for a Japanese technique called kuranuki, which is when you're cutting away of surfaces. So it's cutting away to make different designs or different ways of creation.
Almost looks like mosaic on the side.
I think it looks a little bit like a cow, but I really like it with the
cow
spots.
Mosaic.
Yeah. So I took different tools on leather hard cups, and which is like partially dry clay, so it's not super dry. It can still move. It hasn't been fired, but it can still move a little bit. And I cut sections away, and then the black spots on it. That's called engobe, and it's colored slip, so it's that like mix of water and clay, so it can be used kind of like paint, and so these black portions are colored slip that I painted on. So then this is another one that I did with a couple different cutting techniques. So this I really just used to try different ways of using the tools and cutting away. This I had also covered in engobe before I started, and then when you cut away, it reveals the clay surface underneath. Yeah,
this has like a African
fabric. I thought so too.
Like an African fabric look to it, but
it was unintentional. But I love it. Yeah.
It's really beautiful. Erin picked these up the other night when we went to the studio for our kind of sipping pottery, and she was really excited to get these 4 cups. Excited.
Yeah, so this is another one that I did with the cutting away style. So I painted the inside with engobe before I started, or after I started, I think. And I really just chipped away very quickly at it to give it more of a textured surface. And then I have this final one. This is a slightly different technique. This is called sgraffito. So it's similar with the other black one that I showed. So this is also painted in engobe. And then I used a tool that looked kind of like a fork to just draw on it. So it scratches away the surface and also reveals the clay underneath. But I really just tried to do it with how I felt. No real plan. And try to clean it up a little bit. So these are some of the pottery that I've done.
Great job. Yeah. So she has a beautiful set of 4 cups here. Here, hold those so people can get a really good look at it. She has a beautiful set of 4 cups here that are all food safe. So we plan on putting something in here to
try them out.
Why not? So this was great. So we are very much looking forward to going back to do pottery again on Sunday. So the other thing that we have been doing while we have been watching the Great Pottery Throwdown is we have been knitting. And
I definitely knit when I watch TV, or I try and do some sort of crafting while I watch TV. So then I'm not sitting on my phone all the time.
Well, and I know Dad says to me a lot of times, he's like, I would love one night for us to just sit and watch a show without you stitching or knitting or something. But if I don't, I'll fall asleep. I mean, I just, I'm just a multitasker. There's never enough hours in the day, and you're kind of much the same way. You're like a busy Lizzie, just like me. So, the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree. So Erin and I have been knitting also. Show them what you've been knitting, and then I'll show what I finished up since I've been here and the project that we have to work on together. But we've had some deadlines.
I do have a deadline. I'll show the deadline one first. I have an awful lot of whips. I have so many whips. This one is not a whip.
Nobody here knows anything about whips.
Of course not.
We have lots of whips. Way more desire than time.
Yeah. So a good friend of mine is having her first baby in August, and I have her baby shower on Sunday. So yeah, I had a bit of time pressure, but when she first told me she was pregnant, one of the first things out of my mouth was, can I make you a baby blanket? So she knows about it, she just hasn't seen it, so it's like a half surprise. So I made this baby blanket, so really just kind of a big square, but I did it in seed stitch, so every other stitch is knit and purl. And this is out of cotton yarn.
Oh, it feels so great, Erin.
Yeah, I thought it'd be soft for a baby. This is hand painted yarn, so it's all different.
It is washable.
It is washable because it's cotton. And I thought this would be good at hiding any potential stains.
Yes,
and would be
washable.
Lots of stains. So
it's a great size for a car seat or carriage or so that's
so
great.
A baby in a pram, this would be perfect, especially since it's still so hot here. So a summer due date, you don't really want thick wool, I don't think. So
no, that's nice. And cotton is very much allergen friendly.
Yeah.
So Erin was working on this beautiful blanket, and she finished it.
And then so my most recent whip, or the one that I'm working on currently. So this doesn't look like much, but it is the back of a dress. So I really like getting kits from WeAreKnitters. They can be a little bit spendy, a little bit pricey, but I really like the ease of, if I need the needles, they'll send the needles. I get all the yarn that I need. So this is the same cotton yarn, but it's just in a burgundy. So it's gonna have a deep V-neck in the front. This is the back. And it's long sleeve.
The sweet little edge.
So,
the sweet little edge gives it nice.
A little bit of weight.
A little bit of shape at the bottom and a little bit of nice detailing.
Yeah. So this is my latest whip. We'll see if I finish it before I move on to something else.
And Erin started this the day before yesterday.
We've been watching a lot of Pottery Throwdown.
And she did have a knit day she invited 2 friends over for knitting, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So this is my most recent project.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what you have going on. I will show what I have going on here. Oh, I'm dropping everything else. Okay, so I finished up this pair of socks since I have been here. Well, they're both the same. This is self-striping yarn, and this is a cotton. It's a cotton,
right?
It's a stretchy cotton sock, and I did these magic loop method. And if anyone has knit with self-striping yarn, you can do identical twins, or you can do fraternal twin socks. These are identical twin socks. I tend to like that. I think Erin's been telling me I'm very Virgo, which I am. So I like the precision of doing a identical twin sock. Not always, but this one I did. So how you do this is that you mark down at what point on the color change of the yarn you start your cast on. And then when it comes to the second sock, you pull out the yarn to that same spot and then cast on again, and you can pretty much get identical twin socks. Now, if I would not bother with finding that same starting point, it would still be the same kind of sock, same striping pattern, but not in the same position on the sock. So they call those fraternal twin socks. So
I love a fraternal twin sock. So
and I've made you some of them.
Yeah.
So anyway, for this is my socks that I finished. Then when I came here, Erin and I had talked about what it was that we wanted to work on. Oh boy, I can't see I think it fell away. But the instructions, we are making a bag. You know, you have yours over there.
Yeah.
I brought Erin materials to make this 100% wool felted bag. This is a bag that we will felt. So it's by a company called Two Old Bags. And so this will be, so if you've ever done felting, you know you knit with 100% wool and then you wash it on high agitation, hot water, and it shrinks down that you can no longer see the stitches of the knitting. It looks more like a piece of fabric. So I've knit the whole base of the bag, and now I'm starting on the straps. And see, these straps, I'll take it out. This is just a working copy here because I didn't want to take any originals on the plane because I thought I would lose them.
I think it's also a working copy my cat sat on. But
So there you go. So one long strap fits into a shorter strap, and that makes the handle of the bag. So I did bring the supplies for Erin to make one too, and all the needles and everything. And so hopefully she'll get started on that at some point.
I think when I finish the back, then that's my next.
Well, this is a fun
my next
knit,
go
and
around.
I will show in another video once I have this home and felted. It looks huge now, but it will certainly not be huge once it's totally felted. You check it numerous times during the, kind of washing process. You're not cleaning anything. You're just trying to felt the yarn. And so that's what I've been working on also. What I also did for Erin's friends is I made them a knitting bag now that I've gained some Cricut skills, which I've talked about. Let me grab this.
It's mine?
This is Erin's knitting bag. I did this on my Cricut. You can show that, and I will reach your other one that I made you.
I mean, this for me and my friends, which was very sweet. That was very unexpected. My friends were very excited to have a bag. So,
For their knitting, you can never have too many bags. And then I made this one for Erin, and in German it says, "Yes, I knit," and "No, I'm not an old grandma." So I did knit this bag. Make this bag for Erin also on my Cricut.
Yeah.
She was impressed with my German.
I was, yeah. So.
All right, so moving right along. Oh, we do have one other crafting project we want to do. I was at Michael's before I came here, and I found these little kits to do a mosaic vase, or you could use it for pencils or just crafting supplies or what have you. But this little vase kit I thought was kind of fun. It came with I guess this is plaster, I don't know, or maybe some kind of clay.
Feels like plaster. Yeah.
All little mosaic pieces, the glue, there's some grout, a bag with grout in here, and the sponge to wipe off the grout. So it's supposed to rain next week some days, so we're going to make our little mosaic projects too. It's really great to have this time together. We've always, throughout Erin's whole life, we've always enjoyed crafting and making together. So this time just continues. So we're going to do that. Now, as far as stitching, Erin stitches sometimes. I was very surprised to hear. She said when she met me at the airport, she's like, "Hey Ma, I just finished a stitching project, so I can show that on your floss tube too," which she did. She's like, "I don't know if it'll be okay to show." And I saw it, I thought, no, it's great. It's great. It's very fun. And I said, I'd like if you made one of those for me too.
Which is an honor.
Erin has 2 cats that that she adopted from Greece, and they're a joy. Her cats are so people oriented, and who knows? It looks like they might want to be making an appearance here.
But
so anyway, show your stitching.
Yeah. So I have I guess a different style of stitching than my mom. Yeah, but she taught me how to do it when I was a kid, so I'm not completely lost.
Biting on the phone
Go
cord.
away. Come in here, go away. Yeah, so I have a slightly different style than my mom, but I was sent a photo from a friend the other day who one of his friends made this, and I went on Etsy and I found the pattern and then started making it pretty much immediately. But as we spray one of the cats,
One of the cats is eating the phone cord.
But I made this pattern that says, "Please don't let the cats out or the cops in." So
I love it.
I do too. I'm gonna hang it next to my door as instructions for people when they come over, because my cats, they like to stay inside. They're very much indoor cats, but they do try to escape once in a while. So it's good advice to not let them out. So this is what I finished. Pretty much right when you got here, or right before you got here. So, yeah.
Well, I think that's just adorable.
Yeah.
So that was from Etsy, that pattern?
I got the
from
pattern
Etsy?
from Etsy, yeah. Yeah,
Do you
there's
know
a couple
who
different
was a
variations.
designer? I guess if you would,
I can look.
but I guess if you would, you know what, if you would search,
You can
please don't
search,
let the cats out or the cops in.
that's
you'll
what I
find it.
searched for on Etsy. There's a whole bunch of different designs. So this is the one that I liked the best. So,
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
And then you've also done some surface embroidery.
I did, yeah. So this was my first and only attempt, but I did enjoy it while I was doing it, and it's been hanging in my house ever since.
And if you can see a little bit behind us here, Erin has this wonderful wall of curiosities.
That's a good way to describe it.
She has photos and artwork and little
Some
things that she's
and,
collected from different travels that she has done. Our family loves to travel, and that's one thing Erin really enjoys about living in Germany is that it's so easy to travel through Europe.
Yeah.
When her friends were here on Sunday, they were talking about going to Denmark and invited Erin to come to Denmark with them, and she took them up on the idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Denmark? How far away is Denmark? Well, Denmark is a 3-hour drive.
The place we're going it's like a 2-hour drive from here, 2.5. So like about 3 on the train.
So, it's just way more accessible, and do they use the euro there also?
No,
No,
but
a lot of countries here are on the euro.
Yeah.
But anyway, it makes traveling around the world a lot easier, that you can see so many wonderful countries when you're living in Germany.
Yeah.
So anyway, we digress. But she has this wonderful wall of curiosities.
Yeah, and on this wall of curiosities, I also worked this from a kit, but I have this embroidery, dissected bird. Like I said, my style is much different from my mom's. A friend of mine once described my style as grimsicle, so a mix of grim and whimsical. And I've never felt so understood in my
But it's
style.
very cool. I mean, when Erin first told me about it, I said, Erin, that kind of sounds kind of weird. But I mean, she showed it to me, and it's really, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
So she did a beautiful job with her stitches also.
It's two pieces of linen. So this back one here, this is what I worked first. So you do all the organs first, and then you place it had the cutout already. And you place the linen on top, so it shows kind of what you want to see, and then you do all the bird stitching, and then at the very end I brought the flaps down and put a little pin in them. And this is from Odd Anna Stitch. So I also got this off of Etsy, but I followed her on Instagram. She's been a little bit quiet, but I really like her work. So she does a lot of this kind of 2-layer embroidery. So yeah, this is my bird that I hang on my wall.
Cool. That's very cool. Well, I guess it's time for me to show my stitches here. Let's see. All right. There was a piece that I was working on the plane. Well, I thought I would work on the plane, but my flights were so delayed. I flew from Norfolk, Virginia to Atlanta, Georgia, to Amsterdam, to Hamburg, and my flight leaving out of Norfolk was delayed by a lot. So then it just backed everything up, and I honestly really didn't have very much time on my flights. But of course, as stitchers and crafters, makers, we always go very prepared to have things to do. So this is the Tiny Town Nativity that I wanted to stitch, and I'm going to make this into a drum. So here I thought, being that it's very solid areas and it's little, I thought that I would be able to get quite a bit of this done on the plane, but no, because they also now just think they have to turn the lights out, and I think some of it fell. I'm not sure where it went. Oh boy.
So this piece.
No, it's not that. Anyway, you know what? I'll find it as we go on here. We just have to let the show go on. So I was working on that. I did get maybe 2 houses finished. The other thing that I was working on that has been very popular lately is the Stacy Nash animal crackers. So this is Reynard the fox. So I stitched him, and then he has a little bag that you make. And I finished that. The bag was actually way more labor intensive than Reynard himself. And then over here, I started it. I was going to stitch it this way, but there was a huge slub in the fabric. So I just forgot about that and stitched his little bag. So once I get home, I'll finish him that he can join my Maggie May and Clovis. And I will say that last time somebody commented that I was saying that I had stitched things that I couldn't show. Well, that was absolutely right. There's an exchange at StitchCon, and I stitched a Maggie May animal cracker to give away at StitchCon also, so I couldn't show her. But that was one of the things that I was unable to show. You know, when you're making presents or surprises, you just can't show them, and that's just the way it is. Okay, so the other piece that I have been working on, this was my whip go for June. This is here, and you can show that. This is What Remains Is Love by Blackbird Designs. Kind of hard to see it there because my linen is dark, but this is by Blackbird Designs. I did reach my whip go goal of 10 hours. I stitched the whole border, the bones of the border, that everything matched up. I am a border girl first. Again, I like that precision and knowing that things are going to work out.
It's too much counting for me. I've definitely messed things up before.
This, I've talked about this in the past. I'm doing this as a memorial piece for my sweet mother who passed away in 2021. And I will also include a tribute to my stepfather who passed away a number of years ago. Both of them on this same piece. So I will be working more on that, and it's really been a fun stitch. So that's What Remains Is Love. The other thing I have been working on is, well, I will start working on it. I've been doing the Colorado Cross Stitcher summer camp. You can still join it. Today is July 1st. You can join anytime throughout the month. What you do, Colorado Cross Stitcher comes up with a prompt for June, July, and August. June's prompt was to stitch something that depicted whether you were a daytime stitcher or a nighttime stitcher. I actually love the quiet of the morning to stitch, and I also love the stillness of the night to stitch. So I stitched one with a sun and a moon on it. So that was June's prompt. July's prompt is to stitch something by a favorite designer. So what you do is, today I posted on the Cross Stitch Camp Facebook page my fabric, my threads, my picture of what it will be. And so I commit to stitch that. You just show it, you know, to show that you haven't started it yet. And then I will get that finished by the end of July and then post a photo of it on the Colorado Cross Stitcher website. There's a section to post finished pieces, and Sherry, who is Colorado Cross Stitcher, has generously acquired numerous gifts that she gives to, you know, prizes that she that people win. So anyway, this is for July. You were supposed to stitch a favorite designer. I have lots of favorite designers, like I'm sure all of you do, but this is Primrose Cottage. This was their 12 monthly minis, the little pillows. I am finishing them as biscornus, And so there's one for each month of the year. Primrose Cottage does a lot of nice seasonal stitching or monthly, monthly appropriate things for home decor. I'm doing a little July pillow. And so these are this is 36 count Zweigart flax. And then there's only 4 colors in it. So it's a little flag patriotic piece for July. So that will be my Colorado cross stitcher summer camp piece. All right, the other piece that I brought with me, just in case the stitching is always the stitching is always the first to get packed. I mean, who cares about the clothes? I forgot my bathing suit. I forgot a couple other things, but I have all my stitching.
I'm the same with books.
So yes, Erin is also an avid reader. You read War and Peace just because.
Yeah,
she read Les Miserables just because. Like most people dread that being assigned that in school.
I love a chunky book.
Erin was not even assigned that. Like I remember when I was in high school, we were assigned Great Expectations, Charles Dickens' Great Expectations to read. And our teacher said, and don't use the cliff notes because I'll know it if you did. Well, you know what? She would also know that I didn't. So what I did, you're not supposed to hear this.
Oh no, I knew that neither you nor Dad had read it.
But I got the cliff notes, read the cliff notes so I could sort of understand the book. And then I did not answer all of our assigned questions quite perfectly. So that way she assumed I read the book and just didn't really know everything else. So anyway, this is another piece I brought to stitch onto. This is Teresa Kogut's cross-stitch star quilt. And this is solidly stitched. I think I'm going to make like a little mat out of this. But I don't know, I didn't even start it yet. But I do have, this is Weeks Dye Works 36 count or 35 count tin roof linen. And then these are all of the colors. I think these are all the colors. Let me see. Oh, no, that's something else. These are all the colors for it.
I was pulling out a big thing of thread. So does my cat, apparently.
Yes, we might be visited here. So these are all of the wonderful colors in this. So it looks like someone's been playing with this already.
I wonder who that could be.
So anyway, I will start on that at some point. I really have no idea what happened to my little nativity thing here, but you know what? There really wasn't very much stitched on it. I think it might have fallen overboard. But, so that's what we have going on here. Anyway, let's see. What else do we have planned for the rest of our time together?
The rest of the time, well, I have taken Mom on a world food tour of Hamburg, so we haven't had any German food at all, or any North German food. Well, yeah, pretzels are, yeah, fair. Other than pretzels and Franzbrötchen, which is a Hamburg pastry. It's kind of like a flat cinnamon bun. They're delicious. We've been for Turkish breakfast. We went for Ethiopian food.
Japanese food.
Vietnamese food. We might go
we went for tapas.
We went for tapas the other day. We might go for Peruvian. So we're going to continue the world food tour. And then on Friday, we have a very long walk called the Mammut March.
Yes, I'm excited about that.
This is something I very crazily started doing a couple years ago. They call it extreme hiking, and it's in cities all around Germany. They have a couple in Spain now. They have one in Vienna, Denmark. So it's very, very long hikes. So the first one I did was 42 kilometers, which is marathon length. It's 27 miles, something like that. It's a marathon. And then now I have a friend who I got into it, and now she comes with me, and now Mom. So there's one happening on Friday. It's called the Night Mammut, and it goes all through Hamburg. We're doing the baby one, the short one. It's 30 kilometers, so that's about 17 miles. And we're starting at 9:40 at night, and then it's still light at 9:40 at night here, and the sun is coming up around 5 in the morning. now, so we're probably gonna be walking all through the night.
I did buy some good
got some
walking
good
shoes.
Yeah. But it's great. They have a really good setup. So the entry pays for all the support. They have different food stations throughout it. So at one station they might have soup, and the next they'll have a hot dog, and you can just come in and get a bunch of food. They have coffee, tea, water, snacks, like fresh fruit. They have these. A friend of mine, my friend who does it with me, makes fun of me a little bit because they always have these very large pickles in like a huge can, like really like huge can.
Pickles are great for muscle recovery.
Yeah, that's why I always get one. So every stop, she's like, Erin, do you have your big pickle? Yes, I have my big pickle. Because it, like the sourness is nice when you're working out a lot. Yeah, so I always make sure to get the big pickle. Yeah, so we have that planned Friday night. We're gonna go meet some more friends of mine. Yeah, kind of play it by ear.
And we have that art show.
Yeah, so there's also an art event that I really like in Hamburg that takes place every year. So that's happening next week. It's called the Millantor Gallery. The Millantor is where one of the soccer teams in Hamburg plays. So the soccer team that I support, St. Pauli. So they open up the stadium, and they have different artists paint murals on the wall, and the murals stay for the whole year until next year. And they have music and crafts and events and food and all this stuff. So
that'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. So yeah, that's what we have planned.
So we have some more plans for the rest of the time here, and of course we'll watch some more pottery.
A lot more pottery throw down.
Okay, so thank you for joining us here today. I do have some prize winners from my last floss tube, where I had some gifts that were very generously donated. Now, as with any of the giveaways, please do not mention prize, raffle, drawing, any of that. That just attracts weirdness to the channel. People think, it's bots or whatever. I don't really know a whole lot about that. But if I'm giving something away, you respond with a word that is the prompt to use in a comment. So I do have my 3 prize winners from my last floss tube. I do not have the actual kits with me or charts. I really kind of had to plan for this because I could not bring those physically with me. So I did photograph it and then print it out. So I will hold up a photograph. So Erin, hold this up. The winner of the stitch cards from It's So Emma, that the response was to use was summer. The winner of this was Kathleen Murphy, 9350. So Kathleen, please email me and let me know that you are the winner and provide me with your mailing address, and I will get that out to you. It won't be for quite some time yet because I'm still in Germany for another week and a half, but I will get it out to you shortly after I get home. So Kathleen Murphy, 9350, you have won the It's So Emma stitch cards. Okay, and then this one. This is the Americana Mamas by Heartstring Samplery. Now this was a class kit that was donated. It is the chart and the finishing fabric and linen. I believe the threads were not with it, but this goes to Julie Walcott, 4694, and the prompt for this was to use America in your comments. So Julie, if you're seeing this, please email me and I will get this out to you as well. And then my last giveaway was a Lizzie Kate chart, and this is Lizzie Kate Yankee Doodles, and the response for this was patriotic, and this goes to Erica Burr. That's ERICA BER 9083. Erica, if you see this, please email me and I will be sure to get this prize out to you. And I'll have more giveaways the next time. So anyway, we continue to be out and about and have lots of fun time together. We're really enjoying ourselves. It's wonderful to be here. We'll be very sad to go home, but Erin will be home at Christmas time, so we will maybe share more then. Who knows? We'll see what you have going on.
Bring all your pottery back. So
you'll bring my pottery, and maybe you can model your dress. If you get your dress finished,
and I can be like Keith. It's brilliant. Really, really wonderful.
I hope you say that.
I will.
Or rather than... Lovely attempt. So
there's some great definition on this.
That's right. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed what we've had to share. I hope you've enjoyed meeting my beautiful daughter. Once again, I thank you all for your prayers, good wishes, whoever you seek for, whether it's good karma, good juju, whatever, whoever you pray to, whoever you look to with good intentions for people for healing, peace, and health. Thank you so, so much. I really appreciate all of the prayers and good wishes for our daughter, for our family.
Me too.
Anyone going through this knows that it's quite a difficult time. So thank you so much. And until we meet again, may you find calm, joy, and relaxation in your stitches. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.